Welcome to the second episode of Inside Politicz, for teens by teens, where I explore the politics and issues impacting our generation. I'm your host, Christina Li, and today I'm focusing on the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on college students. For this, I've invited Angelreana Choi, a student at Yale University. Angelreana, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's great to hear. So, can you tell us a little bit about the measures that Yale has put into place in response to coronavirus?
Yeah, sure. So I am a first year at Yale, so freshman. This is my first year here. And obviously my second semester was cut short. So I think a lot of the Yale administration is just trying to figure out, like, they're trying to take it like day by day, because no one has sort of encountered this issue in the past. And I think everyone's just sort of scrambling to come up with solutions that'll work for the students and the administration. So the first thing that I can think of is housing, right? So a lot of the international students and emancipated minors are able to stay in the residential colleges, which is really great, because that was something I was really worried about for international students who maybe like couldn't go home. But I'm really glad that they're doing that for the students. And obviously the rest of the students were like supposed to evacuate the school. We're supposed to leave and go back home. They allowed us to get a lot of essential items from our rooms. A lot of people left laptops or like school supplies there that they really needed, because we'll be having online classes for the rest of the semester. And they allowed us to get a lot of our essential items from the rooms, which was very nice. And as for academics, so a lot of students, like over 1,500, have been advocating for a universal pass policy, and a lot of student groups are also backing it, and a lot of professors and teachers have been having a ton of meetings lately, I know, to sort of figure out what the grading policy they're going to enact is, like whether that be an optional pass-fail policy or a universal pass policy, or if they're just going to let students just have GPAs like normal. But I think right now is really a time where we have to think about the collective rather than the individual. So in that regard, maybe a universal pass policy would be best, in my opinion. But we'll see. No one has let us know about it yet, even though classes start on Monday. So we'll see how it goes.
I see. So, is there any frustration or just like, do the students want more, or are they just like kind of okay with what's been done so far?
I feel like most students understand that Yale is doing its best right now. I know personally for me, like, I was very frustrated because I was like, classes start on Monday. Like, I don't really know what's going on with my classes, like what's going to happen, like how are classes going to be conducted, like what are the logistics in this new situation. But I also realized that professors are trying their best to figure it out. Like, this is all new to them too. Like, the Zoom technology, the online platform, all of that is very new. And so, like, everyone's trying to figure it out. And I feel like most students sort of recognize that. But, it depends on what happens with this universal pass policy. It'll, like, make a lot of students really happy, and it'll make a lot of students really angry as well. So we'll have to see what the administration does with that.
Have any like federal policies or state policies specifically affected you?
I'm from Springfield, Missouri, that's where I live right now. And actually all of the restaurants have been shut down. You can only do drive-through now or takeout, I believe. You can't dine in anymore. And that's like a pretty big policy. They've also, I believe, shut down all casinos in the state, which doesn't really affect me, but, something else to think about. But I've just been trying to do my social distancing. Like, I haven't gone out at all. But I know it, like, affects a lot of businesses in the local area. My dad has a business, but it's not exactly in Springfield. It's in a smaller town, like about 30 minutes away from Springfield. There haven't been specific measures targeting that town or that county yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see, because I know a lot of, local business owners have been really drastically affected. But, I don't know, it's like it's really tough, because this is how people like make a living, this is how they support their families.
So do you have any thoughts on like the federal response to this pandemic?
I mean, it's unfortunate that there's not like really enough testing for people. And I've been like looking at this coronavirus map from the New York Times. And I've been checking it pretty consistently, which maybe I shouldn't, because it's pretty scary to see how much it grows like in a span of 2 hours. But I mean, like, for a long time, like West Virginia, for example, was the only state that like didn't have any reported cases. But I read an article that was saying that like, oh, maybe like that was because they didn't have enough testing in the state. It's not because like, oh, like all these people were like safe, but they didn't have enough testing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, people are trying to churn it out as quick as they can. But again, like, I don't know, like the US really should have prepared earlier, I guess, because I mean, they knew it was happening in China and like elsewhere in the world, and like they sort of like China sort of like bought us time and like to potentially prepare, but we didn't really take it seriously. So that's very unfortunate.
So I guess like now that the US has moved towards a sort of like reactive sort of response, do you think that right now they're doing enough?
I feel like state governments have really tried to like harbor the effects of coronavirus. And like I want to say the government is also trying its best, but I'm really like not sure. I mean, I keep hearing and reading about how, like the Senate Republicans are like trying to pass this bill, or like trying to pass this funding through Congress, but I haven't like heard of anything that's like exactly concrete yet.
Do you have any concerns, whether short term or long term, about how this virus is going to affect you?
Well, I am pretty sure that my parents' business also has to be shut down pretty soon, with just like looking at how rapidly this virus is growing. So that will definitely impact our family, because, that is our like only source of income. But that is also the case with a lot of other families and a lot of other people. But I mean, there are definitely going to be a lot of like continued negative impacts on our country and on the world, like economically, but also just like in the day-to-day lives of people.
Is there like anything that, like any information that you feel like would make you feel better about the situation that you don't know already?
Well, when I think about Yale, like, just like, first of all, I want to figure out like what the grading thing will be like. I mean, it seems like a pretty petty thing, but Um, yeah, I mean, just figuring that out will sort of let me be a little at ease. But in terms of more large scale, um, like I want to know if there's like enough testing for people, um, and making sure people are safe and are able to like get what they need. I mean, I wish I would know like when will this entire thing end, but of course, that's not something we can know right now.
Okay, Angelreana, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I guess I'll see everybody next time on Inside Politics. Hey everyone, this is Christina. Thank you so much for watching Inside Politics. Please be sure to check out the outtakes linked in the description, and feel free to check out the rest of the interviews on my channel as well. See you next time!